The fourth area of tax is health insurance for the EU. Now again, I'm centering in on Cyprus here, but there's also a Brexit element, so that there's an EU-wide health insurance agreement where social welfare benefits for EU expats relocating around the EU are shared between the country, but they're only shared with the right certificate passed. So if you're a qualifying citizen of the UK or Germany or Spain, you can get the equivalent state healthcare in another country. That's absolutely fine, and that works. With Brexit, that could stop unless the UK has new bilateral agreements with each EU country, or a new bilateral agreement with the EU as a whole. And it hasn't at the moment. The transition period is due to end at 2020. There will be some big changes between now and then. Whether the EU make an agreement or individual countries do, we'll wait and see. The UK are committed to maintaining a similar process. They have agreements with other countries, so no reason why that shouldn't continue. But that cross-border health insurance link could be broken, and EU expats with Brexit need to be aware of that. But those expats living and working in Cyprus need to be aware that there's a new health tax that's been introduced, and this health tax is introduced at a rate of 1.7% for 2019, and it rises to 2.65% in 2020. And it's a separate tax, so it's not income tax, it's not pension tax, it's not dividend tax, it's not savings tax, it's not corporation tax. So in Cyprus you can pay 0% tax on your dividends and savings, 12.5% on corporation tax. You've got a relatively high personal allowance of 19,500 euros and a 5% pension tax rate. So it can be a low tax environment. But this new health service tax is chargeable on your worldwide earnings wherever they're earned. So whether you remit them to Cyprus or not. So any income arising in Cyprus, or as a Cyprus tax resident, any income that you report, you are liable for the health service tax, and that'd be 1.7%. So if an expat has got an investment income of 100,000, they have got a liability of £1,700 tax for a full year, for example, in 2019. That should only be 9 months, but because it's applied from the 1st of March. And whether you're eligible to qualify for the health service tax or not. So it's a weird one. You don't necessarily qualify for the health service tax, but you do qualify as a tax resident to pay the tax, even if you're not in Cyprus. So you can be an expat that's a Cyprus tax resident, and you can be living and working elsewhere, but your Cyprus tax return will still have to include and pay that tax, even if you don't have a liability for that. So that's something to watch out, and it could make a big difference to expats living and working abroad that now have not had to pay tax in the past, that they've now got tax to pay in 2020 for the first time on 2019 income.